Welcome to the first episode of Pop Culture Eats. We're your hosts, Elena Barnes and
Martin O'Tane. On this special edition, we'll be taking a look into the food's featured in the Netflix original show, Squid Game, while also discussing its ultimate success.
we're going to be cooking the despised Dalgona sugar cookie while also attempting the life-threatening challenge and the final 3 steak dinner reward.
All here on Pop Culture Eats.
Boom.
So, as we're back here, we're going to be going into the famous Dalgona cookie challenge that was on the show. What were some of the things that you saw on that challenge specifically?
Well, since I haven't really seen the show yet, I've just been seeing it all over social media, and it's all over TikTok, it's all over YouTube, so I've just been seeing people try it, and actually, it's had over like 58 million views.
Wow.
And something about 106 billion views too, I think specifically on like TikTok. And so, it's just been a really popular thing. I actually haven't tried it out yet, so perfect time to do it right now.
Yeah, sure. So what do we have to going into this today?
All right, so the ingredients that we need, pure baking soda,
Right.
1/16 of it, and then a tablespoon and a half of sugar.
Right. So I'm gonna start right here with the sugar and go right in. with
Right.
it so we can.
So
start
yeah,
making our-
as you guys can see, we have a little measuring cup here, and so pour the sugar in there. We have a hot stove going,
Right.
so put that over the stove just like that, and then
Just waiting.
Yeah.
For a little bit for it to melt.
right, whenever it melts, start mixing it up a little bit, and then finally, whenever it's all melted, we'll add a little bit of baking soda, and we'll mix it up. Whenever we get to that step, we'll explain a little bit more.
Yeah. So now this challenge is one of the obviously crazy ones during the show. As we can see over here, it's already starting.
Yeah.
Get that melting part going on.
Working fast.
Yeah. So this is obviously, like I said, one of the famous and one of the craziest timing challenge on the episodes. It's just so crazy, just trying to get. Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
thinking.
one of the things you gotta watch out for. But just trying to get this shape out of this sugary, very, very sugary candy, obviously in the show.
Yeah.
I'm sure, man, and some of these main characters, it took them by a nail biter, to even get it done.
I know, I've seen a couple clips too, and I see like licking and then heating up a needle to try to melt the cookie.
Right.
And I don't know if I would successfully make this challenge. I'm a patient person, but also impatient at the same time, if that makes any sense. But like you mentioned before, we have different shapes, and there's different shapes within the show. So we have the star,
Right.
we have a flower, and then we have a little circle here. And then also in the show, there's an umbrella, but unfortunately, we couldn't find an umbrella cookie cutter.
We have most of what is happening today, so that's good. Now, one of the
That's
other things,
looking really
look
good.
at this. It's looking almost liquid
Yeah.
already. Just gonna give it a few
Couple more seconds.
and then we'll add the baking soda to it. What do you think?
I think it's looking good.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you don't totally burn
Yep. And
the
you
stuff?
you also make sure that you stirring at all times. I think you should add
Yes,
the baking soda.
I definitely think it's baking soda time.
It's
All right.
This is the point where.
And that's whenever you want to mix it really quick.
Stir really quick.
Yes.
Make sure it's not burned. Get it off the heat. I'm getting it off the heat just because
So then
it's
you don't
so
wanna burn
hot
it.
already.
Yeah.
The thing is so hot already. So boom.
I think that
And
looks
now we're
fantastic.
We're just gonna pour it all out. All right. We're just gonna pour it all out right there. And mine, oh my, look at that. Nice.
Smells like a campfire, guys.
I know.
It smells like marshmallows.
Sure does.
All right.
And boom. Look at this. And then.
Now we
Yeah.
just let it cool for a couple of seconds. It's about maybe like 20-ish seconds.
I think 20 seconds is all.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this measuring cup
Right.
and we'll put it over it.
Try to
So
make
just
a perfect circle.
Make a
Yeah.
perfect circle. So just smash it down. Nice and fluffy. Hey, look, there's nothing sticking on the bottom here.
That's how you know we did it right.
Oh,
That's how
yeah.
you know we did it right.
And
Now
then-
we just pick up a shape.
Martin, you do the honors. What
I'll
shape
do
do
the
you want?
honors. I think I'll do the star. And
A star because you're a bright star.
Because, yeah, Mr. Good Looking is cooking, so I'm just gonna do that one. And boom, look at that.
There you go.
Look at that. I mean, this is just perfect. And once it cool down for a little bit, you can actually take it out. And now it's still a little soft here, but you can take it out and it should
Yeah.
be all good to go.
Like we said, some things you can do. Take a little toothpick and start trying to pick
Yep.
at it whenever it finally gets hardened a little bit.
Most definitely. Most definitely. But yeah, this is a crazy, crazy challenge. I'm so glad that the main characters stayed in the show, you know, because this is one of those things, like I said before, this is nail-biter, almost to where you're thinking, oh my God, it's an audience, oh my God, it's one of these main that people are going to, you know, get out of the show at this challenge, but they stayed in the show and you know.
What
they was able to
episode is
overcome.
this challenge in?
Yeah, I think it's episode 4, if I'm
Okay.
not wrong here, and I think it was really good, really
Yeah.
good episode. There was some, obviously, you know, it's so crazy because as some of the stories were happening in the game, there was also some stories happening outside the game, outside in the world, and in your families, you know, getting to know a little bit of the contestants' families and everything else. So I think that was really well done here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh man, look at that.
It's getting
I think
hard.
It's getting really hard. Almost to where we can. Is it not? Yes.
Hey.
Look at that. Man, I mean, and then obviously, as you can tell in the show, they had to make sure they carve that shape out, and most of them, like you said earlier, were looking and doing all kinds of crazy things to make sure this shape came out perfectly, so
Yeah.
they don't be eliminated from the game. So yeah, there you go, guys. This is that perfect challenge here in the show. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think you're able to do this?
I don't know. I really don't.
I think I might have to probably get that cheater, you know, things that they had. You know, they had some cheating codes on there where, some, like you mentioned earlier, somebody had a lighter and, you know, somebody was using that sunset to be able to look how,
Yeah.
you know, and how
I think
they
I'd
can-
be in too much panic mode, so I don't think I would be able to process what I'm supposed to do here. So
Right. Well, hey, I think I can give it a shot. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, stay tuned, and we will be going into the final dinner of the show. Welcome back to Pop Culture Eats. We are about to get into the reward dinner for the final 3 contestants of Squid Game: Sebyok, Songwoo,
And Guion.
and Gion.
Oh yeah. No. This is an interesting time right here. You know, these three have been really good friends since the beginning of the show. Been through so many challenges. Now they're at this final moment. You know, this final time, and having this great dinner. You know, with each other. So I think it's very interesting
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
Which it is a big, delicious steak dinner. Now, this dish is actually inspired by the show. It's not the exact ingredients, but like I said, inspired. And so what we have here today is asparagus, we have some potatoes and tomatoes, and here's the seasonings that we're gonna work with. So we've got a delicious dinner that we're gonna be cooking
Yeah, I
up
mean,
today.
look at this potatoes. It looks really tasty.
Yeah.
I might give me some as we're, you know, putting on the grill. Just on the side note over there. But yeah, no, let's go right in.
Let's
Where we
get
going
to it.
first?
All right, so we have our little grill right here. And so if you're a college student, hey, this works out just fine. And so make sure you have your pan. Let's go ahead and spray the pan so
Oh, yeah.
then
Have it
nothing
all greased
sticks
up.
and we can crisp up something.
Greased up.
All right, so let's go ahead and get a bundle of asparagus, all right? And then we'll just place it right here on the grill. Make sure your grill is set to about 350 degrees.
Right.
So then you can get a nice little crisp of the asparagus.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What do we have? All right. Let's go ahead and spray
Some more of that.
some more
Yeah.
on top so we
Make
can
sure
add
it's-
a little crisp, you know?
Oh yes, I like it. I like
then-
it. Hey, eat your vegetables, all right? Because it's good. It's good for you.
Right here we have some seasoning.
A little
some,
pinch.
A little pinch of steak seasoning. Just do about maybe like 2 to 3 pinches, depends on how much seasoning you would like on it.
Oh yes.
And then we'll grab some of our thyme.
Ooh, it gives it a little smell
Yeah,
to it.
get it a little fragrant, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah, all right, that
Look
looks
at that.
really good.
You want to join us here, right now, because this is going to be some interesting
All right.
food right here. I'll tell you that for sure.
So then
Little
just
flip.
little flip. to go ahead and get those flavors
Rolling.
together. Yep, get them
yes.
rolling.
Now, you said something earlier about you not being able to see the Squid Game yet. Tell me about that. Why haven't you do that?
Well, I actually haven't watched it yet because I've been watching other television shows.
Oh man.
I know.
That's the #1 show in the whole entire world.
I know.
I mean, people are literally recreating the show. I mean, like.
I've actually seen a couple of YouTube videos.
Okay.
About, I think Mr. Beast recreated something.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing a lot of videos on social media as well, so I kind of get the premise of the show. But I actually don't know a lot about the show.
Well.
So, spoiler alert, if you have any, I'm here to listen.
I'm gonna spoil it for you, but I think it's a great show. The producer and the directors they just did a really great job, really bringing the story out of that show. That friendship and just really the moral of the story. I thought it was really, really good. Just really showing the audience, creating some friendship there, and in a couple of the games, really showing some woman power. Where some of the women was, the leader of the group,
That's
and
awesome.
standing up for themselves in the show. And I thought that just brings a whole lot of character and it brings a whole lot of a voice to just the world,
Absolutely.
And so, no, but my only spoil, and this might be the last maybe scene of the show, and it's that fact that we find out that the old man on the show is really the real owner of the whole entire show. I mean, like, it is so
way.
crazy. You find out, and you're like, oh my God, like, this is ridiculous. This whole time, he's been playing a game, and from the first game, he was the person to win it. He literally was he was the first person to cross the line when they were playing their first game. And you're like, what is happening here?
See, I've been seeing so many videos about this old man. I was like, how is he playing this right now?
That's what I'm saying, and he
he's the
survived.
owner?
He survived all the way to the end, and one of the stories that he talked about, almost the last game there was obviously his old house that he had, and he was telling one of the other characters about how he had his old house and he really mixed it, and the producers were able to bring that house in the scene or in the game, and that was just crazy awesome. I was like, man, this is mind blowing. And so, man, it's just crazy things to see. You're watching it, and obviously you're seeing all these painful things happen, and obviously people are getting eliminated throughout the game. But it's just so awesome, really, really awesome, really, really awesome. Yeah, let's go with some of that potato.
Real quick.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and throw some
of
potatoes
that.
on here.
Oh yes.
Get those nice and crisp. And another thing about the show too that I heard is the director, I think he's had this idea for a decade.
Yeah.
And it got turned down, and now it's like the greatest show in the
world.
world.
Yeah, and I think, this is one of those things where it just like came out, and you're like, whew.
I know.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
I mean, just imagine if 10 years ago when he first presented the show and the person took on the show, and I mean, I don't think we'll be standing here talking about the show right now if that happened, but it's so good. It's just so good. It's so good. I'm gonna get our plate so we can start putting some of these stuff
All right.
on.
So
most definitely.
the asparagus is looking really good.
Oh,
Tell
yes.
whenever the asparagus is done, it'll look crispy, but whenever it can start to look a little bouncy like that, get a little bit more of a darker green color.
Yes.
That's whenever you know it will be ready. And then our potatoes.
Potatoes are ready to go.
Looking
Look
nice.
at that. Looking
nice
got
and
some,
charred,
yep.
right? So
Got some grill marks on there.
Yep, some grill
yes.
marks. Get those
Oh, yes.
potatoes plated. And then grilled some
Our
delicious
last side
cherry
ingredient. Yep, side ingredient
tomatoes.
right there.
Get those plated. All right. And then next, we will be talking about the steak.
Man,
which is,
I'm excited for that one.
yeah, I'm so excited. I'm a big steak person. I absolutely love steak.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to get into that one.
Of course. So, yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll be back with the final steak.
Welcome back to Pop Culture Eats. cooking an infamous steak today. You know, obviously pairing up with all the other ingredients you cook earlier.
The main event of the final steak dinner for Squid Game.
No doubt. Now I'm gonna kind of give some grease to my pan right here. You know what I'm saying? You already know it says good looking man is cooking, so I gotta make sure it's good. Oh, look at that.
Yep.
Look at that sound. It's just awesome. What's your favorite type of steak?
My favorite type of steak, this is a sirloin, but my favorite steak is a ribeye.
Man, ribeyes are
Bone
awesome.
in and everything. I like to gnaw on the bone afterwards, you know, whenever you get to the very end.
No doubt. Do you
So-
like to put some seasoning on there or
Yes.
some sauce on there?
So-
now, I'm gonna put a little pinch of,
Yeah.
yeah, a little something like that.
Yeah, this is my go-to seasoning. It's steak seasoning. We get it from our local meat market back home in Dallas,
Right.
and it goes on literally everything.
Right.
And it's just so good. All the flavors, all the seasonings within it.
You know,
a lot going on.
One of the things that I love about cooking steak, a lot of people even gets it wrong when they're cooking steak, is that they rub their salt, their spices or whatever it is that they put on there. But you're supposed to, punch it on there.
Right.
Tap it in so it can get inside the meat.
Because if you rub it, you're like
you rub
swiping
just-
it off in a
yeah,
way.
it's just getting away from it. So, no, this is one of the most. This is one of my favorite, meats or whatever it is out in the whole entire world. And I'm shifting a little bit to chicken these days, but every now and then I'll go back to my steak. Because
Right.
a man needs a steak. That's all I gotta say. That's
How
all I
often
gotta
do you
say.
eat steak?
Now, probably not too often.
Not so often.
Not too often.
A steak is really expensive these days.
Yeah.
Especially that tomahawk steak that's in the show. You see how big that thing is?
Man, I mean, I think
I feel like
it was
it's bigger
going,
than my
It was
head.
going for almost $300 for one. Absurd. That's what it is. Absurd. It's just absurd.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those great cut of meat, on a cattle, and it's just really so good.
Yeah.
So just that's a lot of it's a balance of meat and fat in there, and everything else. But
Yeah, the fat helps with like those juices and the flavor.
man,
Sometimes, I sneak a little piece of fat just to. It's not good for you. but
keeps it good, keeps
Right, yeah.
Keeps it good. No, and like I said, getting back to the show again, a lot of crazy things happening, a lot of storytelling. I'm gonna flip this right here. I
Yes.
can smell a whole lot of aroma.
Right.
Man,
So
it's just
whenever you're cooking a steak, it's about 5 minutes on each side.
Look at that
Oh, look
grill.
at those grill
come
marks.
on. I mean, that's what Mr. Good Looking is cooking for sure. In here, get a little
Yep. Get
pinch
some
pinch,
extra seasoning on
extra
that.
seasoning over there. Make sure, again, it's patted on the steak so we can see it. I mean, like, you can definitely taste the seasoning when just
Right. Smells so good.
smells extravagant. That's what it is. It smells
Extravagant
so good.
Is a very
So good.
extravagant word. That
That is an extravagant word.
one of the scenes that I see all the time is the red light green light game,
Man,
and that looks so intense. Is it bad that I kind of want to play that? But I mean, I don't want to get shot at. I don't want to get killed if I lose.
I think it is, intense is probably not a word for it. It's crazy, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, a flinch, and you're going down.
I know.
And that's just
And I don't
crazy.
have good balance on a good day, so
And,
I don't think I would make it if I'm being totally honest.
and you talk about, crazy things in the show. One of the things that I thought was so fascinating was the part of the game where they were trying to cross to the other side of the building, but they have to go across these glass
I've seen stuff about that
puzzles
too.
to get to the other side, and so many people goes down, but at the end of the time you see this genius man remembers that he's actually a glass maker, and he's able to use quarters to bounce on these glasses to be able to listen to the sound wave coming from the glass. And I thought that was so genius.
Yeah, that's one
to
thing
be able
about
to
the show,
add
too.
that into the show.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
have
just-
all these strategies and.
Look at that. I
Yes.
mean, come on.
Oh, we're getting closer, guys.
Getting really
ready.
close. But yeah, that was just so crazy. And I mean, it was so good that later on, the people or in the game had to literally take that away from him. You know, they had to make sure that they turn off the light. I think he was using light to also tell after they ran out of quarters. He was using how much of radiation was bouncing into the glasses to be able to tell which one is solid and which one is lighter. And those are just some of those crazy thoughts that you can add into a movie that, for me as an audience, I go, oh my God, I mean, that's just crazy, you know? That's just a crazy thing for a writer to be able to think about those things, to
these writers
incorporate
are so
it, and incorporate it into the show. And as you can see, I'm using radiation, I'm using all these scientific things in my steak as well. You can see all these grill marks on here. It is just, the smell is just awesome. You know,
You could be here right now.
Oh man, it is just going to the top right here.
Gordon Ramsay, we would totally win Hell's Kitchen easily.
Easily. Gordon Ramsay, if you're watching this, Mr. Good Looking, I'm cooking.
SFA Elena, right here.
That's right.
We're coming for you.
Nice. I know. So now what I'm doing is just searing both ends, making sure that the fats and everywhere is just nice and neat. This is just gonna be medium right here steak.
Yeah.
Now, the look of it is just gonna tell that it's medium rare. I don't have to cut it for you to see it, but the look of it is just gonna be.
There's different feelings on your hand that you can do. I believe it's like on your palm, like right here. If it feels squishy, then that's medium rare.
Speaking about Gordon Ramsay and dissing him, you know, he taught something where I think he said if you smush the meat, I think 2 times in the center of it, you can feel how much of a dents it's in the meat, and that can tell if it's cooked or not cooked.
Right.
Yeah, and so let's try it out here. Let's see. It's just a little bit. We're getting there.
Ooh, we're hot.
We're getting there.
That's good though.
We're getting there. No. So tell me this, and I know you said you haven't seen the show, but at the end of the show, there's a winner, and he got all the money, and the crazy thing is he doesn't even enjoy the money.
After all that hard work, he doesn't enjoy it?
He goes back into the game, donate all that money into his best friend's mom.
Oh, okay. No, that's a nice reason.
But I mean, I can't wait to see what happens next. Now he went back to the game.
Isn't there gonna be a second season?
I can't wait. I hope so.
So
because I can't wait for it. Because, and as you can see here, it looks like it's look at that.
I would say that's pretty much
and
done.
Look, you can tell this is well done. This is some juice coming out of this.
Yes.
And it's just sizzling.
And also, you don't want to overcook it because the steak will rest and that will still cook on its own after you take it off the grill.
Right.
So,
yeah, and then we got the finished product over here. As you can see, if you want to cut some radish for
let's
me.
get some garnish.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and grab this radish right here. Chop off the leaf. I mean, unless you want to eat the leaf, that's totally up to you. Chop off the stem. Cut ever so
nice and thin, right?
Nice.
That's what we're going for over here.
Thin slices of this delicious radish. I'd say that looks about great. Place it right there on top of your asparagus.
And bam, guys,
And
look at
that
this.
is the inspired Squid Game final steak dinner.
I mean, this butter right here is just sizzling on this steak.
So good. So yummy.
Man.
And you know what? In the show, they pair it with a glass of wine. But since we're a kid-friendly show, you know what we pair it with?
What you got over here?
Cran grape.
Oh, yes.
Nothing better.
Nothing better than that.
So let's pour us a glass, shall we?
Oh, please, let's do that.
Get a little glass of our knockoff wine. Just hear that.
that good flavor. This is Naka Valley right here.
Spinning
If you didn't know
around,
that.
you know.
Yeah, give it a little spin.
Get the flavors flavoring, you know what I'm saying?
And cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the show.
Cheers to the show, to Pop Culture Eats.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Pop Culture Eats. Hope you have seen how we've made this final dish on Pop Culture. Hope you enjoy it.
See you later.